In this tutorial, we will look at the Shapiro Library resources that are applicable to engineering courses, how to find them, and how to use them within the scope of your project. As we look at the Shapiro Library homepage, there are a few avenues where we can begin our search. The multi-search, or the main search box in the middle of the screen, searches the majority of our databases, which can be great for beginning research and casting a wide net over many disciplines. It doesn't necessarily delve deeply into any one discipline, and for our purposes, we will look at engineering-specific resources. The A to Z database list provides the full list of our online collection and can be filtered by discipline like engineering, computer science, business, and more, and further narrowed by the type of source like ebooks, reports and data, scholarly publications, and primary sources. Another way to access resources, and the approach we will take during this video, is to use one of our research guides that has been created for your field of study. As we click on the Research Guides link in the top navigation, you will see a wide variety of guides that have been created around topics, specific courses, and disciplines like engineering. As we bring up the Engineering Research Guide, you'll find a splash page with an RSS feed for engineering news, navigation tabs on the left-hand side of the screen, and more recommended guides offering a similar layout and perhaps some overlapping content. As you approach your project, we can think about your research in different ways. One method is to divide library searching into background research, current research, and research in areas that are in the development process, but not quite through the proving phase. Each of these areas plays a role in how it can be incorporated into your research and inform your project. Let's start with the idea of background research. Background research is helpful to familiarize yourself with the concept and its associated research avenues, and it also equips you with the vocabulary you will need to research more effectively. For background research, encyclopedias, books, and reference sources can be helpful to better understand a topic. For example, if you are interested in the Mars Rover, there are many components to this vehicle. Whereas scholarly papers tend to focus on very specific aspects of a concept, books and reference sources provide you a more holistic view of the topic and can help you to narrow your research focus. As we look at a resource like Access Engineering, we can start to see some discussion around the Mars Rover explorations, and you get a sense of the different areas in which you can focus your research. Another resource, the Ebook Collection from EBSCO, we can continue with our broad concept of Mars Rover. This book, for example, will explain some of the challenges scientists faced when designing the various components of the rover. You don't necessarily need to read the entire book. It might be one chapter of a book focused on one concept, and that's what you'll take away from the resource. Now that you have a better understanding of some of the research areas of the Mars Rover vehicles, you might focus on a more specific aspect. In this next example, we can use the concept of the robotic arm as another search term. While the first part of this video focused on background research on the topic as a whole, we are shifting a bit to look at research found in scholarly articles and also research that appears in conference proceedings, both of which you may find in the Shapiro Library collection. If we now have a concept which we would like to explore further, we can look at some of the other recommended databases. In this case, we will remain on the engineering guide, but move to the Finding Articles section. I'll note that books can still be great resources at this phase of your research, and you might find books that are dedicated to the specific aspect you are researching, like the construction of robotic arms. While I don't want to single out any database in our collection, Engineering Village and IEEE are two important resources that you should be familiar. Searching an Engineering Village can be as simple or as complicated as you make it. If we put in the terms Mars Rover robotic arm, you will find 260 results. Along with the title, I look at two areas, the date of the resource and the document type. Journal articles and articles in press and conference articles are three that immediately show up. The article type can be an important factor in understanding where in the research development process this concept lives. For example, a research article will show the completed research concept and findings has gone through the process of publication. And if you think about the timeline for beginning research, understanding the findings, writing the article, and publishing, this piece is probably a couple years in the making. Whereas the article in press means that the article has been accepted to the journal, but not formally published. In this case, you get access to the article even before it shows up in a journal. So you're that much closer to the point of when this concept was being researched. Conference proceedings are generally conducted during or just after the research process and before the scholarly paper is written, meaning you are even one step closer to the research process there. Once you find an article, open it up and save it to your computer if you feel that it is applicable. Research like this is meant to inform how you approach your design, and it also supports why you choose that design process and fabrication. Your instructors will want to know how you came to that conclusion, and the more supporting information you provide, the better understanding you will have of your design and the choices you made. As we head back to the library homepage, know that you have support from the reference team, which is located in the upper right-hand portion of the homepage, and your professors may refer you to a subject-specific librarian at SNHU.